Hi guys, my amazing people, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you're watching me from. I'm your host Oliver Dibila and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we got an interesting topic for you, how to discover your purpose. How to discover your purpose. In a world filled with endless possibility, finding your purpose can feel like embarking on a journey of uncharted territory. But fear not, because within you lies the compass to navigate this journey and become all that you ought to be. But before we get further, make sure you hit that subscription button, turn on the notification bell, drop a comment for me in the comment section, and most interestingly, watch this video from beginning to the end, because I'm going to be sharing the secret to unveiling your purpose and becoming all that you ought to be. In life, for you to be able to become fulfilled in life, there's a need for you to discover your purpose and be able to walk through it and become all that God asks you to be. Now, in life, when you don't discover your purpose, even later in life, there are tendencies that you have an emptiness in you that nothing can fill. Why? Because there's an emptiness in you that only the impact you make in the life of people can fill. Whatever you do, whatsoever it is your calling, if you have not made as much impact in the life of people, there's still going to be an emptiness in you, no matter the amount of success you achieve at the end of the day. And that is why discovering your purpose is going to help you to fill that emptiness. Why do you think some celebrities at the end of the day, even after becoming famous, making money and becoming who they want to be, at the end of the day they still find one way or the other not fulfilled, and then they end up in suicide, they end up taking drugs, and they end up taking their life by themselves? Why? Because there's an emptiness in you that nothing can fill except the impact you make genuinely in the life of people whom God have sent you to be. And the best way you can do that is to discover your purpose. Your purpose is different from your career, but your career can be as same as your purpose. So you must discover your calling is what you are made for, but your job is what you are paid for. So you don't confuse your job and your calling. So your calling is what will fulfill your emptiness in your life, but your career is actually what is going to put food on your table. So therefore means that even with your career, you are still going to be making impact in life, but without you identifying your calling and going through the route of your calling, there's an emptiness that's going to be in you, and then you feel it at the end of the day. So kindly watch this video from beginning to the end, because I'm going to be dissecting how we need to identify what our purpose is and go through it and become all that we can be. I just hope this could help someone out there. Everything that God created, is created it for a purpose. The sun has a purpose and the moon has a purpose. The star has a purpose, the water has a purpose, the rain has a purpose. Everything that God has created in life entirely, generally each and every one of them has a purpose. So you as a human being, wherever you're coming from, wherever your background is not a problem. Wherever your background is, it's not a problem. But so far you have been born on earth, it therefore means that there's a destiny you are sent to come and fulfill. And discovering this is a very great and a vital tool in your life, and can help you to be able to become all that you ought to be. Now that is why we need to spend a lot of time to be able to discover our purpose. But sadly enough, in this part of the world, most of the time we don't spend a lot of time to discover our purpose. Why? Because we are still struggling with the basic amenities of life. Like Maslow said, when the basic amenities of life of human beings are not met, there's no way they can think of other things in life. So most importantly, most of the time we focus on the basic things of life. And even after we've got that, we give no attention to our purpose, and that is becoming a major problem. So every day you must sit and ask yourself, what is my purpose here on earth? And I would like to tell you that no matter who you are, no matter what you do presently, there's a mission that God has given to you to come and accomplish here on earth. There are people that their destiny can never get to them except you help them reach their destiny. Because whatsoever your purpose is linked to making humanity who they need to be. It can be physically, it can be psychologically, it can be emotionally, it can be monetary. In all way around, there's a purpose that God has sent you to do. So it therefore means that when something is fulfilling the function, that does not mean that is its purpose. So it means that there's a function you are doing presently, right now, that you're being productive at, it does not necessarily mean that is your purpose. For example, you have a meter rule. A meter rule, we all know, is used in what? In measuring. So you use it to measure, and then you rule a line, a book, or anything that you're working with. But that same ruler can be used for spanking. You know, the ruler itself, its major purpose is to what? To measure something. But you can still use that same thing for spanking. You can use it to be beating drum. It means that the ruler itself is performing another function which is not its purpose. So that is how most of us in life will live today. The fact that we are performing other functions and we are productive there doesn't mean that that is exactly what we are sent to do. So discovering what exactly you are sent to do is you discovering your purpose, you discovering your mission. Now when you discover your mission, when you discover your vision, you become a man on a mission. So your vision is what gives you the ability to be on duty all the time. So discovering your purpose is very, very critical for you to become who God has sent you to be. Now for us to be able to discover our purpose, I am a believer, I am a Christian, so I'm going to talk from the Christian dimension and then explore to other areas that we need to do. Now for you to be able to discover your major purpose, number one, you must know the purpose, the reason why God has sent you on earth. Now God has sent you, his major purpose in your life is for you to come and worship him and serve him. Now these are the two major purposes why God has sent you on earth, is to worship him and serve him. That is the general purpose why God created everybody, aside any other secondary reason. Now for you to be able to discover your purpose, number one, you must be faithful in the general calling of God to you in your life. And what are the calling? The calling is worship. Now what is worship? Worship therefore means that you know the worth of God and you recognize his lordship. So worship means you know the worth of God and you recognize his lordship. So it therefore means that you worship God with your time, with your talent, and with your treasure. So in worshiping God, you use these three things to worship them because God gave you all those things. So you use it to worship him. Then number two is services. Now, how do you serve God? In the house of God, where there's a need, you fulfill that need. You occupy that need. You give yourself in that services. And those are the two major things we can do. So as a believer, for you to be able to discover your purpose, these are two general calling of God in our life. So for you to be able to discover your purpose, you must be faithful in the general calling of God in your life by worshiping him with your time, with your talent, and then with your treasure. And then also where there's a need in the house of God, where there's a need in the purpose and mission of God in our life, you provide solution to that need. Now that's the first thing. Now when you are able to be faithful in the general calling of God, that is where you are going to narrow down to the specific calling of God in your life. Let me give you a scenario. Most of the celebrities you know today who are making way out there in their career, in their calling, their purpose, one of the major ways they started from is they started from the church. Most of the musicians that you see today that are in the secular music, if you check, most of them you find out that they started from what? From a church. That is where they first discover what? Their talent. And before they discover it, they were what? They were serving God with the talent they have. So now when you are faithful in the house of God, with your talent, with your time, with your treasure, and your services, your services you render to God, a time will come in your life, you begin to feel some symptoms that, oh, you are good at this. Oh, you are more of this. There are things that people will be seeing around you and will be talking to you, oh, you are good at this. I think you should focus on it. I think. Then from there, you are going to narrow down to it. Then when you narrow down to it, and that is where you are going to develop it and then deploy it for wealth creation. Now this is a simple strategy. If you can understand, it will help you to discover your purpose. It can help you to discover your purpose. So the most important thing is being faithful in the general. Yes, being faithful in the general. Be diligent with your time. Be diligent with your talent. And then be diligent with your treasure, and be diligent in offering services. Now, in those areas, when you are faithful in them, naturally you begin to gravitate to where you do most. When you begin to gravitate to where you do most, then it becomes your path where you can follow to achieve your destiny. That is how you first discover your purpose. Now, to discover your purpose, there's what we call the shape. There's what we call the shape. SHAPE, the shape. Now, the word shape can help you to be able to know the dimension of what the area you belong or your purpose in life. Now, the S there stands for spiritual gifts. Now, for you to be able to discover your purpose, you must know what are your spiritual gifts. There's a gift that God has deposited in you in the spiritual side. Some people can be more of prayer. There are people that their gift, their destiny is to become what? Spiritual fathers, spiritual healers. Now, those are kind of people that when you tell them that you are not okay, and then they say, okay, I will pray for you, and they sincerely pray for you or pray with you immediately, and then after some time, you find out that you have a surge of relief, and immediately you begin to feel relief and begin to feel okay. Now, what does it mean? It's a pointer to where your destiny is. So you have to sit down and look at it very well. Does it mean that I have a spiritual gift of healing? So with your spiritual father, with your mentors and your counselor, is giving you a sign, a pointer to where your destiny is headed to. Now, some people, it can be of intercession. Some people, it can be of healing. Some people, it can be of preaching. Some people, it can be of teaching the word of God. You are not a pastor, or you're not a preacher, but anytime you sit down to teach, maybe Bible or anything of value, people get blessed, people get understand, people get more light about it. Now, it's a pointer to where you are heading to. So your spiritual gift, you must pay full attention to it. There are some spiritual things that you do, you find out that they are very strong. The result come out fully for you in particular. Now you need to pay attention to it. What is that thing in you? So you need to sit down and begin to study yourself. What are your spiritual gifts? All of us are being gifted with what? With different kind of what? Gift of the Spirit. So you must sit down and look at what is it peculiar to you. So what is peculiar to you, you begin to give more attention to it, begin to carry more exercise about it, begin to ask questions, inquire, and then you go deeper. From there, it can help you discover your purpose. Then after S, we have the H. The H means your heart. It means your heart desire, your passion. What are you passionate about? You know, there is something that when they talk about it, you in particular, you carry it as your number one. In fact, in that area, nobody can do except you are not around. Now, you have to pay attention to it. Some people is singing. You want to be everywhere. Every time you are walking, you are singing. You are at home, you are singing. You are in the church, you are singing. Everybody knows you. You have a very beautiful voice. You are a good singer. And you have not been to any music training, but you have a very good voice. And then that is what you are passionate about. So it's a pointer to where your destiny is. It means you can bless the life of people through singing. So you make sure you give more attention to it so you can develop it and then deploy it for wealth creation. That is number two. So what is your heartbeat? Where is your heart going to? Some people it can be teaching. Some people it can be media. Some people they are not in a place where you can see them. They would like to work in a place whereby they are working in the background and then their result is showing. Some people like to be extroverts. They would like to be everywhere. Some people are very good in making people laugh. Now, those are pointers. Where is your heart really beating? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter the kind of success you achieve. When you don't make enough impact in the life of people, when you don't live that inner dream, that inner purpose that God has given to you out there, you see have an emptiness in you. So what is your passion? What is it that you can do that even if tomorrow you are sitting down on a wheelchair, you can do it without you getting tired? So that is a pointer to where your destiny is. So your passion plays a major role also in identifying where your destiny is. After H, we have the A, which is what? The ability. What can you do is a pointer to where your destiny is. There are people who can sing but cannot dance. There are people who can dance but cannot sing. There are people who are very good in a lot of things, but are not good in other. So you must check your life. I, Oliver, what am I good at? So anywhere you have the ability, you know that if they say, okay, come and do this, you will do it well. This is where you have ability. But if they say, come and do this, you can't do this well, but you can do this to the extreme and very perfect. Now it's a pointer to where your destiny is. So you have to check that thing well. You have to give it more attention. You have to pray over it. You have to get counsel about it. And then you have to discover it, then develop it, and then deploy it for wealth creation. So your ability matters a lot. What can you do? There is something that you can do. So it doesn't matter what you want to do, but there is something you can do. So a lot of the time, the problem we have is that we neglect what we can do and we focus on what we want to do, of which is not part of our calling. So if there's something you can do easily with you and it's difficult for other people, then it's a pointer to where your destiny lies. Then after the A, we have the P. The P means your personality. Are you an extrovert? Are you a kind of person that likes to be everywhere? You know, there are people like that. You are in church, you want to be in the choir, you want to be in the ushering department, you want to be everywhere where people can see you. You know, so there's a pointer. It's pointing something to your destiny. So where you need to be, it has to be a crowded place, a places that at least you influence people even from your appearance, your looking. So you have to find a way around it. What is this saying about you? So if you're an introvert, you don't like what? Loud things. You like to work in the background. You can work in the media. You can work in the finance department. You can work in a lot of places whereby your work is showing, but people are not seeing your face. Now, when you are doing that, you are fulfilled. Even though people don't know that you are the one doing this, but you personally, you are fulfilled. Apart from the financial gain, apart from the material gain, apart from other benefits that comes with it, you are naturally fulfilled because you are doing this as if this is what you are born to do, of which it is what you are born to do. So you don't have anything holding you. You are living your life with purpose because you really enjoy what you are doing, because you know this is what you are supposed to be doing. So when you go to work every single day and you are frowning, you are praying that let Friday come so that you go house and rest, and you are tired of this, then it's a pointer that you are in the wrong place. You should be able to do something that even if they ask you to come extra, you are willing to do that because this is just part of you. So you must know your personality. Are you an extrovert? Are you an introvert? Are you sanguine, melancholy, choleric, phlegmatic, and all sort of personality of who you are? It's a pointer to who you need to become. Then the last E, we talk about your experiences. Most of the time, your experiences is a pointer to the world God is sending you to. If you are an ex-convict before, now it's a pointer that you need to be in an organization that will help people to correct their bad attitude, because that is what you have experienced before. Now, whenever you see somebody is wrong, maybe he's speaking, and then you just get angry. You just want to correct them and let them make this thing right. Then it's a pointer that you need to be in a teaching line where you'll be able to give people light about what you feel they need to be doing. So your experiences. If you are a prostitute before and now you are no longer a prostitute, it's a pointer that since you have come out of that place, it's a pointer that your experience in life, God is sending you to that same world to go and discover other people and let them know that there's a way which God wants them to be, which they are not living in. So most of the time, your experience is a pointer to the world you need to go and save people from. So these are ways in which it can help you to be able to discover your purpose. So one of the major things you must know is that your career may necessarily not be your calling. But if you are lucky, your career can be your calling. So if your career is your calling, then you merge the two together and you do it well. But if your career is not your calling, I'm not saying that you should drop your career and pursue your calling. Be doing your career, then be giving attention also to your calling. Because this is what is giving food on your table now. Your calling has not yet started producing. You are yet to develop it. So what do? You give more attention to this. While this one is meeting your needs, you begin to develop this. You begin to develop it. So that when this develops very well, it can be a source of livelihood for you. And then you fulfilled yourself. Now, if this your calling cannot be a source of livelihood for you, your career can be what? A source of livelihood for you. Then you use your calling as a passion to fulfill your natural desire of what God has sent you to be. I hope you get value from what I just shared in this video. If you have any question to ask, please drop your question in the comment section. Like this video, share this video with other people so that they can get the same value you are getting right now. And tell me in the comment section, what is your passion? What is your calling? So that I can know how we can work together and make ourselves fulfilled. I am working on my way to my destiny. I also want you to be working on your way to your destiny. So remember, God has sent you here on earth. You have a purpose and a destiny to achieve. Do not let that die away. Discover your purpose and make the world a better place. So that even after you pass on, your achievement, your impact can begin to speak for you after now life. Thank you guys. See you next time. Next week, I'm going to continue from 10 questions to help you discover your shape. Now, this does not stay within the confines of church alone. This one will go outside. That's why you discover that even unbelievers discover their purpose in life very fast, and they become successful and they become fulfilled. So you don't need to be a believer to discover your purpose and fulfill your purpose. An unbeliever can discover their purpose and become fulfilled. But if you don't understand it, it's actually going to be a problem for you. So next week, I'm going to drop the part 2 of the 10 questions that will help you to discover your shape and other ways you can be able to use to discover what exactly are you sent to do. So I want you to discover your purpose so that you can become all that God wants you to be. Thank you very much and see you next time.